Hi, this is Joe Sigler from Black Sabbath Online. I'm here to talk for a couple minutes about the new 2 CD Deluxe Edition release of the original Black Sabbath album, Black Sabbath. This album's been released a ton of times over the years. In fact, this coming February will be its 40th anniversary. I would have expected these deluxe editions would have been saved for the 40th anniversary. They weren't, so, we talk about them now. As I said, it's been released a long time ago. There's been a ton of releases over the years. I don't even remember them all. There's too many. Vinyl, cassette tape, there's been CD releases, a ton of them. There's the 96 Castle release. There's this CD release, which was on Black Box a few years ago, which is a great release. There's even this one from years gone by, the 8-track. That's right, it's an 8-track. Don't know what it is? Ask your parents. So we're here to talk about this one, though. The 2 CD release that's available now. It is quite a good release. I'll get into why in a minute. It's got this deluxe edition banner, which has been on a ton of releases from several different bands. I'm not sure if that's some sort of standard I don't know about, but, it's a piece of plastic. The outside of the CD is nothing we haven't seen before. It looks pretty much the same, as what you'd expect, but that's the end of it. You open it up, it's got nice packaging on the inside. You got some artwork here. You got this picture of Ozzy, which my 4-year-old daughter thinks looks like a girl, but we'll move on from that. You open it up, it's got the usual 2 CDs, you got your nice artwork, and below the CDs are some original recording memorabilia from the studio. You can't really read it here because you get reflections, but once you buy it, you'll be able to read that. On the inside, it's got the booklet, like most everything has. It's got what appears, in my eyes anyway, to be a new picture of that factory, whatever that is, on the front cover of the album. Speaking of the art there, the original album, if you remember, when it came out on February 13th, 1970, you opened it and it had an upside down cross and it had a poem in there. Those are not in this version. From what I can gather over the years, the poem and the upside down cross were not the band's idea. They're not in this version. So if you're one of those people that's, I gotta have the same way it was released, it isn't. My guess is they released it according to the original ideas of the band. I don't know if that's true or not. That's my own guesswork, but it would fit. But inside, there's a bunch of artwork and memorabilia pictures and stories and whatnot. Some of these pictures you'll have seen before, like that one. I remember seeing it in an old Mark Weiss Black Sabbath book from like early 1980s. So, but it's not all repeat. There's a lot of good new original stuff. The story's really good. I've heard most of the stories about Sabbath over the years you can think of, and I enjoyed the story. It's a great package. The sound is, I would say, pretty much equal with the 2004 Black Box release. At the time, I called that the definitive version of the Ozzy era Sabbath albums, and I pretty much stand by that. This is effectively the same. I'm not what I call a bitrate bigot, which are people who get into, well, the sound level on this version is too high, so it's not as good as this version because it registers higher on my meter here. So no, I'm not one of those people. I put it in, I listen to it, I hear it. It sounds great. What do you want me to say? It's really good. If you did not pick up Black Box, those versions were never released individually. You had to buy Black Box and buy them all at the same time to get those remasters. If you never picked that up, then this might be your target. It's a fabulous re-release. They have all the tracks that were on the original, depending on which version you bought. The American versus the European version of the original had different track listings. One had Wicked World, one had Evil Woman on it. This has both of them. The 96 Castle release also had both of them, but this release has all of them on there. It also has the second disc, which is what most people will be interested in, the alternate takes and the outtakes and things of that nature. There's several tracks that are instrumental, which you could use for karaoke, I suppose. But It also has an interesting version of Evil Woman. That is a cover, if you didn't know. That's not a Sabbath original track. And the original version of that song had horns in it. The one on the first Sabbath album did not have the horns, but Sabbath did experiment with that. There's a version on here with the horns, which, if you're used to the original, sounds a little odd after all these years. But you'll definitely want to check it out. The packaging is great. The audio is great. And the extras are a real bonus. If you've been a fan for a long time, you've never heard that stuff before, you'll definitely want to check it out. It is only available as an import. I'm recording this in the United States. So if you wanted to buy it here in the States, you'd have to pay import prices, which the last time I looked was about 36 bucks. It's a good package. Is it worth 36 bucks? It's up to you. But if you're a completist, you'll want to get it. If you're in Europe or over there, you don't have to pay any special price. You just go buy it. Check it out. It is definitely worth it's definitely worth your money. And from what I've shown you here, you've seen what's inside the package visually. You're going to want to get it. Bye. Take care.